Hey, good morning. It's been a while. I wanted to speak to you this morning about hormones. All sorts of hormonal things, but one of the things that I'm noticing more and more of, and probably because I'm around that kind of age myself, is that a lot of people are struggling with perimenopause, menopause, hormones in general, or not knowing what's going on, or just generally feeling a lot worse than they're used to. And this is made even more challenging by if you're already chronically ill. So if you have CFS, fibromyalgia, any other kind of chronic illness going on, and then you also are having hormonal issues, concerns, worries, that can be enough to kind of send you over the edge a bit. And we are led to believe in modern day society that having hormonal issues, challenges, is the norm. And yeah, it is the norm now, but it shouldn't be the norm, and it doesn't have to be the norm. So if you are being challenged in this way, then you can do something about it. And I know that's always a bit more difficult when you have a chronic illness already, but you definitely can do something about it. So here are some things that can have a big impact, and I mean a massive impact, on your hormonal health. One of them would be eating regularly. So every 3-4 hours eating something, because once your hormones are out of sync, then also it can be made much worse by blood sugar lows and also blood sugar spikes. So the other thing that is beneficial to bringing balance to your hormones, and when I say your hormones, I mean anything hormonal. So this can be if you want to get pregnant, if you are only a teenager and you've only just started your periods. This could be if you're perimenopause, menopause, after the menopause, post-menopause. This really can be anything. So yeah, having things that spike your blood sugars will really affect your hormones. So if you are hormonally challenged in some way and you are having caffeine, for instance, coffees, teas, green teas, Coca-Colas, that kind of thing, even things like maca can do it as well, which we were told is all good for us, then I invite you to give those things up, because they will be having a big impact on your hormonal health, as does chocolate. There is a small amount of goodness, and I know that many of us are drawn to chocolate when we have our periods and things. There is a small amount of goodness that helps us in proper dark chocolate. Anything else is just crap and is actually making our hormones worse. And then obviously anything that is highly processed, full of sugars, that kind of thing as well. Eating a lot of white carbs is also detrimental. So if you notice that you pile on the white carbs, particularly at certain times of the month and things, then I invite you to try and put more protein and fats into your diet instead. And that is important anyway. Proteins and fats, good fats, in your diet as much as possible to support your hormones. And then stress. Stress is the biggest factor, I believe, in affecting our hormones. If we get stressed, then that has an impact on our nervous system, our adrenals, all of those sorts of things, and thus our hormones. So addressing your stress levels and working with your triggers is very, very beneficial for hormonal health. And really, you know, when the hormones are out, if there's something funky going on in some way, then it really is just like a compass or some such thing to show you that there is something out in the body. You know, it's not, oh, I have hormone problems and that's that. It's like, no, this is a map or a compass or something to say there is something fundamentally wrong in the body that needs addressing. The hormones being out of whack are not usually the root cause. They're usually a symptom of the root cause. So maybe that's a really bad diet or a really stressful life. Yeah, that kind of thing. So the other thing that really knocks our hormones out is a yeast overgrowth. So like candida, you know, fungus in the body. So if you think you have candida, then addressing that is really beneficial for hormonal health. So that isn't just taking using some sort of cream or taking some sort of pill. When we show signs of candida in the genitals or the mouth or even between the toes, athlete's foot, that means that it's in the digestive system, and that's where to address it by doing something like a candida cleanse, which is my book, Cleanse, and kind of cleaning up your diet and lifestyle to address that. Will have a huge impact on hormonal health as well as loads of other health issues. What else is there? Generally just not being a complete tit to yourself as well. And really tracking your cycle if you're still having a cycle, and noticing when your mood and your energy levels fluctuate, and when you're good at doing things and when you're not, and not pushing through, because when we push through we just make ourselves feel worse. So for instance, I know I'm okay once my period actually starts, but for the few days before my period starts I feel very tired, emotional, sensitive, and if I push through that time, then when my period starts it's really bad. But if I listen to my body and slow down in those few days before my period, then when the period starts it's absolutely fine and I barely notice it. So, and this is the same for everyone. There might be different times in the month where you're good and bad and stuff, but really listen to your body, listen to what it needs, and don't push through, because every time we keep pushing through you will feel more hormonal, you will feel rotten in some way because you're not listening to what your body needs. And that's the same for anything really. You know, listen to what your body needs, not what anyone else like myself is telling you that it needs. It is very good at telling us if we slow down enough to listen. And that's really about it really. You know, whenever you're hormonal, you're always going to feel all the things you're normally feeling but tenfold. So if you don't address those things, they are often going to feel a lot worse when your hormones are changing at certain times of the month. And if you're not having a period anymore, then you will find that you will probably sync with the moon. So if you feel like, even though you're not having a period anymore, that your hormones are kind of all over the place still, and you don't understand why, then track where you are in comparison to the moon, and that See how your mood changes and how your energy levels change. And again, listen to your body and what it needs when it needs it. This life we live in society, where we need to all be achieving and doing and pleasing and being all the time, is not helpful for our hormones. It's not how we would have done it. It's not how our bodies should be doing it. We should be listening, we should be slower, and then we won't feel like a complete lunatic at certain times of the month or certain times of the moon. So there's some of my tips for helping with hormonal health. If you've got something in particular that I haven't covered, then do get in contact, and I'm always happy to help. I will speak to you soon. Take care from me and glorious Portugal. Ciao for now.